Hello, hello, hello. This is Danny Ceballos with Unleashed Consulting and your best boss, take five. Welcome. So, if you were able to check out the last take five that we sent you a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the importance of feed forward. So, it's the idea of reframing feedback, which tends to concentrate on negative and the past and limitations, and instead transforming that into feed forward that concentrates on the future, on possibilities and opportunities. One is constraining, the other is expansive. So I want to remind you about that as we move into, well, so what could that format be in terms of giving feedback or feed forward? So there's a wonderful methodology that I was first introduced to by the Center for Creative Leadership, and it's called the SBI method. I've had a lot of great luck in working with not only when I was a manager and a leader, but also in working with clients now on how to best give feedback and creating cultures of feedback. So essentially, the SBI stands for Situation, Behavior, Impact. And we put a little bit of a best boss nuance to it and say that there's actually a little bit more to it. So we call this the A.S.B.I.R method, which almost sounds like a Spanish verb, but it's not. It's the A.S.B.I.R method for giving feedback. So I want to take you through that methodology, and I want to encourage you to start practicing using that. So basically, SBI in the ASBIR acronym stands for Situation, Behavior, Impact. So let's say you have an employee, you have a team member who is, again, late for your leadership team meetings, and you need to give them some feedback about making sure that they are on time for these meetings, that they attend on time. So typically, what might happen is, Maria, when we had our meeting last week, you didn't show up. Where were you? We missed you. We need you there. That's that's feedback. That's kind of informal feedback. And instead, I want to start thinking about it in terms of naming the situation, naming the behavior, naming the impact. So now I might say, Maria, do you remember last week when we had a staff meeting that was starting at 9 a.m., you showed up at 9:10? Do you remember that? That's the situation, the behavior. So when you came in, you sat down and we needed to pause and we were thrown off our schedule, thrown off course. That is the behavior and that is the impact. So you see, we talk about the situation, making sure Maria understands the situation, making sure Maria understands and agrees with the behavior, right? That she was late, and the impact. It forced us to realign our agenda, and we needed to pause and all of that. I want to throw in a couple of one at the beginning and one at the end of other actions that you should be taking, behaviors that you should be taking, and that's the A and the I the A and the R. The A is ask. So in the Maria example, I want to first ask Maria, Maria, is now a good time for me to give you some feedback? Maria has the agency to say now is not a good time or another time, right? She has the ability. So we really want to, when we want to give a person critical feedback or feed forward, which requires some behavior improvement, we want to really leverage their agency and make sure that they are willing partners in this feedback discussion. So Maria, is now a good time? And if Maria says now is not a good time, and you say, well, when is a good time? The right response is not never. The right response is when can we actually have this conversation? So Maria, okay to give you feedback? Yes. So remember last week at our meeting, our staff meeting that was starting at 9 a.m.? Yes, there's the situation. You came in at 10 after. That's the behavior. And the impact was that we were not able to stay focused on our meeting. That's the impact. So the R is the request for new behavior. So Maria, in the future, what can we do together? What can we problem solve together to make sure that you are at the meeting on time? And so that's when there is coaching, and that's when there's the ability to figure it out together, to problem solve together, and to be really open to what some possibilities and opportunities might be. Ideally, you are problem solving together. So I don't want to go too far down that hole, but suffice to say, feedback, when given in an appropriate way, can become very, very effective, can start to take some of the emotional energy that goes along with that, and to really make it a value exchange between employees, between managers and employees, between yourself and your colleagues. So I want to invite you to really take advantage of and look into really using the ASBIR method, the ASBIR method, ASBIR method for giving and receiving feedback. All right. Thank you so much. This is Danny Ceballos with Unleashed Consulting and your best boss, Take 5. We'll see you next time. Bye now.